Romantic Tales. Chapter 98. Fuck you, idiot. Yang Ming kicked Jin Gang and directly kicked this guy to the ground. Then he kicked him fiercely and scolded, "I'm in a good mood during this time, so I don't want to talk to you. How dare you jump on me?" Yang Ming didn't know where to vent his anger. Now that someone came back to help him vent his anger, how could he let him go? Originally, Jin Gang was a sports player. He should be able to spar with Yang Ming. However, Jin Gang didn't expect Yang Ming to attack suddenly. He was lying on the ground before he could react. He lost his advantage and could only be beaten up. Today Cao Liwa got the big cannon, Brother De, from the north of the city to teach Yang Ming a lesson. Moreover, he was afraid that Brother De couldn't handle Yang Ming, so he specially called a few hooligans. If Yang Ming really couldn't handle it, they would gang up on him. No matter how good Yang Ming was, he wouldn't be able to withstand the wheel tactic. Jin Gang didn't dare to beat up a student in front of the school gate. Last time, Jin Shisen had already warned him. Principal Li was very angry. If Jin Gang caused trouble at this critical moment, Jin Shisen wouldn't be able to say anything. Therefore, for his job, Jin Gang didn't dare to cause trouble. Cao Liwa waited for a long time, but Jin Gang didn't come back. It was just a matter of minutes to find a student. Why was he so slow? Xiao, what's wrong with your friend? Why didn't he come back after such a long time? Brother De was a little impatient. Let me take a look. Cao Liwa felt strange too. Therefore, he walked to the entrance of the school from the alley. Before he reached the entrance, he saw Yang Ming kicking a person. The person who was kicked was Jin Gang. Cao Liwa was shocked and quickly reported to Brother De. What? This guy has guts. Bring me there. Brother De said angrily. Isn't this not giving me face? Yes, Brother De. You must teach that brat a lesson. Cao Liwa hurriedly said. Humph, he's dead meat. Brother De said arrogantly. Cao Liwa and Brother De walked quickly to the school gate. Brother De also saw Yang Ming, who was beating up Jin Gang. Why does this person look so familiar? Brother De shook his head. I don't know any of the students here. Stop. Brother De shouted in an imposing manner. It was like the appearance of the boss in a movie. Yang Ming was so angry that he didn't hear Brother De's call at all. He continued to kick Jin Gang. You motherfucker, didn't you want to trick me? You want your uncle to fire me? Why don't you fire him? A weakling like you dares to act tough in front of me? If I don't beat you into a ninja turtle, you won't know why it carries a hard shell all day long. When Brother De saw that the kid in front of him actually ignored him, he was furious. He went up and grabbed Yang Ming's collar. Yang Ming was in the mood. Seeing that someone was interrupting him, of course he would not let it go. He turned around and looked. It's actually an old acquaintance. It's really a small world. Yang Ming slapped him directly. Yu Xiangda, have you forgotten the pain after your scar healed? Yu Xiangda was stunned too. Coupled with the slap from Yang Ming, he was stunned. It's actually the guy who beat me up in the detention center. Why aren't you talking? Yang Ming looked at Yu Xiangda and said sarcastically, You were hired by Jin Gang, right? Yu Xiangda was angry in his heart. Motherfucker, why do I have to meet this guy everywhere? What happened in the detention center was a great humiliation to Yu Xiangda. However, because he couldn't beat Yang Ming, he could only swallow his anger. He didn't expect to meet this guy again after he came out. However, no matter how angry Yu Xiangda was, he knew that he couldn't fight today. Yang Ming's ruthlessness was still fresh in Yu Xiangda's memory. This guy would hit anywhere that could be fatal. He was very ruthless. Last time he almost paralyzed Yu Xiangda. How could Yu Xiangda not be scared? However, Yu Xiangda wasn't ready to let go of Yang Ming, but he had to endure it today. Brother Yang, you came out too? Nonsense, I came out earlier than you. Don't you know how to talk? Yang Ming wasn't in a good mood today. If it was a normal day, he would definitely consider the consequences. No matter how ruthless Yang Ming was, he was just a student. He was no longer at the bottom of the society. However, Yu Xiangda was different. This guy was a professional gangster. If he really entangled with him, Yang Ming would be annoyed enough. Yu Xiangda endured his anger. He thought, wait until I take care of Bao Sanli, then I will deal with you. I'm sorry, Brother Yang. I was just passing by. Passing by? Passing by? Then you mean that you saw me hit someone, so you wanted to be a good Samaritan? Yang Ming said sarcastically. Well, that's true. But if I knew that Brother Yang was here to teach someone a lesson, I wouldn't care about this. Brother Yang must have hit a bad guy. Yu Xiangda was now in an irreconcilable situation with Bao Sanli. If he fought with Yang Ming because of impulsiveness, both sides would definitely suffer in the end. If Bao Somli took this opportunity to annex his forces in one fell swoop, then the loss outweighed the gain. So Yu Xiangda continued to endure. Yang Ming beat up Jin Gang and his mood was a lot better. As the saying goes, don't hit a smiling face. Seeing that Yu Xiangda was polite to him, Yang Ming couldn't say anything more. Anyway, he had vented his anger. Yang Ming hummed a little tune and went home. Jin Gang was completely desperate this time. Yang Ming is really a ruthless person. I can forget about revenge in this life. Even Brother Day is respectful to him. I'm nothing. Besides, our pure female lead, Qin Mengyan, locked herself in her room after returning home. Yang Ming, you bastard. Qin Mengyan threw the photo on the ground and stomped on it. He wanted to stomp Yang Ming out of the photo. I'll stomp you to death. Qin Mengyan scolded Yang Ming fiercely as she jumped around on the floor, but tears flowed down unwillingly. Didn't I just reject his unreasonable request twice? But I also hinted to him that after the college entrance examination, I will be his girlfriend. Is he so unambitious? He can't even hold it in for a few days. He actually went behind my back to find a prostitute. So hateful. The more Qin Mengyan thought about it, the more upset she felt. She supported herself on the bed and cried. Thinking of the little things she had done with Yang Ming in the past 3 months, Qin Mengyan was even more sad. Is everything over? Looking at the hairpin Yang Ming bought for her on the bedside table, Qin Mengyan grabbed it and threw it out of the window. She cried until the sky turned dark until there was a knock on the door. Yonyan, it's time for dinner. Qin Mengyan couldn't eat anything. Even if it was delicacies, she had no appetite. Yonyan, what's wrong? Are you asleep? Mom went in. Mother Qin saw that there was no movement inside and was about to open the door. Mom, I'll be right out. Don't open the door first. I'm changing. Qin Mengyan suddenly came back to her senses and said in a panic. The photos on the ground hadn't been picked up yet. Qin Mengyan didn't dare to let her mother in. This child, what's wrong with changing clothes? Are you afraid that Mom will look at you? Mother Qin smiled and said, then hurry up. Your dad and I are waiting for you. Okay. Qin Mengyan replied mechanically. She quickly picked up the photos on the ground and hid them in the drawer under the bed. The door opened. Qin Mengyan tried to make herself look normal, but her listless look and red eyes betrayed her. Yonyan, what's wrong with you? Father Qin noticed his daughter's abnormality first. What happened to your eyes? Eyes? Nothing, San got in. Qin Mengyan said in a hurry and lowered her head. San got in. Mom will take a look. Mother Qin said worriedly. No need, it's already fine. Qin Mengyan said quickly. Let's take a look. The National Higher Education Entrance Examination is coming. Don't let anything happen. Mother Qin was a little worried. Mother Qin pulled her wife. Because of the nature of work, he had a more acute observation than others. Experience told him that it was absolutely impossible for San to get into his daughter's eyes. Seeing her husband pull her, Mother Qin was stunned. But when she saw the hint in Father Chen's eyes, she immediately understood and shut her mouth. Qin Mengyan ate a few mouthfuls perfunctorily and lost her appetite. She was afraid that her parents would notice that she couldn't control her emotions, so she said, Mom, I will take a shower first. After that, she walked quickly to the bathroom. Just as she locked the door, tears slipped down again. Afraid that her parents would hear her sobbing, Qin Mengyan turned on the shower head and sat there blankly. The water from the shower head splashed on her face, mixed with her tears and flowed to the floor. Until this moment, Qin Mengyan realized how important Yang Ming was to her. But he made such a big mistake behind her back. Could she still forgive him? The most important thing was that he made a mistake, but he never confessed to her. Qin Mengyan was letting her imagination run wild in the bathroom. Father Qin and Mother Qin couldn't sleep and eat peacefully outside. Chapter 99. Old Qin, what do you think happened to Yonyan today? Mother Qin looked suspiciously at the closed door of the bathroom and asked. How would I know? Father Qin shook his head. Wasn't she fine when we went to school this morning? Why did she become like this when we came back? You're asking me. Old Qin, you are the police. Why are you asking me? Mother Qin complained. Wife, the police aren't omnipotent. How can the police know everything? Father Qin said with a bitter smile, I just came back. How would I know? Then why don't you investigate and see what happened? Mother Qin complained. Alright, I will investigate. Father Chin walked to his daughter's room helplessly. When he entered the room, the first thing that caught Father Chen's eyes was the messy bedding. There was a big wet mark on it. Chin Mengyan was so old. Obviously, it was impossible for her to wet the bed. It was obvious that there were tear marks. Father Chin sighed. It seemed that his guess was right. His daughter just cried. Father Chin hesitated for a while about his daughter's things. It was illegal to touch other people's privacy. Not even his own daughter. Father Chin didn't want his daughter to look down on him. In the end, he walked out of the room. If his daughter was willing to say, she would have said it earlier. If she didn't want to say it, it meant that she didn't want him and Mother Chin to know. When he closed the door, Father Chin suddenly noticed a photo in the corner behind the door. He picked it up doubtfully. How did his daughter have this photo? However, Father Chin seemed to understand everything. He shook his head with a bitter smile. His daughter had grown up. There was actually a day when she was troubled by love. Father Chin felt that he should do his duty as a father. It wasn't a good idea to let his daughter be troubled like this. When Yang Ming returned home, he wasn't upset anymore. He had vented his anger. Although he was still depressed, he didn't show it. Therefore, Yang's father and mother Yang didn't notice anything unusual. When he returned to his room, Yang Ming turned on his computer and logged into QQ. Hey, there are plenty of beauties. Yang Ming didn't think about Chin Mingyan's problem for the time being. Wild female teacher. Are you there? There's no true love in this world. Yes, fight the landlord? Which room? Yang Ming asked habitually. Wild female teacher. I'm in a bad mood today. Can you chat with me for a while? There's no true love in this world. Alright, I'm in a bad mood too. Let's talk some sense into each other. Wild female teacher. What's wrong with you? There's no true love in this world. Just like you. Wild female teacher. Like me? I'm heartbroken. Don't tell me you're the same. There's no true love in this world. Well, something like that. Wild female teacher. Your QQ profile clearly says there's no true love in this world. There's no true love in this world. Well, I just wrote it casually. Why are you in a bad mood? Did he fall out of love again? Wild female teacher. I might never see that person again, so I'm very sad. There's no true love in this world. What do you mean? He's dead? Wild female teacher. Don't curse him, you are the one who is dead. There's no true love in this world. Then what's going on? Wild female teacher. He graduated. There's no true love in this world. Graduate? What do you mean? Aren't you a teacher? Isn't the person you like your colleague? Wild female teacher. He is my student. There's no true love in this world. Your student? You couldn't be, right? I couldn't tell that you are an old cow eating young grass. Not knowing why, Yang Ming suddenly thought of Zhao Ying. Sigh, I don't know if I can see her again in the future. It seems that this wild female teacher is in the same boat as me. Wild female teacher. I'm not that old. Why, you can't accept it. Are you looking down on me? There's no true love in this world. No? How could it be? I'm just surprised. Our experiences are similar. Wild female teacher. Why, do you like your student too? Are you a teacher too? There's no true love in this world. Hey, Yang Ming didn't explain. He felt a little annoyed. Zhao Ying, Chin Mengyan, who do I like more? In terms of intimacy, Chin Mengyan is closer to me. But in terms of spiritual communication, Zhao Ying is closer to me. After several trials and tribulations together, their hearts are connected. Chin Mengyan will doubt me today because of Wang Jitao, but Zhao Ying won't. For example, Zhao Ying had never doubted that she had cheated in the exam results. However, Zhao Ying's attitude towards me that night in the association. Is it still possible between us? Chin Mengyan finally calmed down. Let's talk about the future later. If Yang Ming explains to me, will I forgive him? Chin Mengyan doesn't know. Maybe I will. A woman can easily forgive a man's infidelity. Chin Mengyan once read this sentence in a novel. At that time she sneered at the author who wrote this sentence. But now Chin Mengyan was a little shaken. She can't take it anymore. It's only been one night. It was hard for her to imagine if she would suffer from depression or something like that if this continued. Yonyan, do you have time? Talk to me for a while. Papa Chin said to his daughter who was drying her hair. Oh, I have to study. Chin Mengyan was not in a good mood and naturally didn't want to say anything more. You can study for a while. I'm usually busy with work and we don't have time to talk. Papa Chin said, don't be nervous. Just treat me as your friend, not your elder. Qin Mengyan nodded. Since her father said so, she couldn't insist. Yonian, the last time we had a heart-to-heart talk was when you were in the first year of junior high, right? Papa Qin found a topic to talk about. Yes, right? Qin Mingyan's thoughts returned to that time and her gloomy mood improved slightly. She said a little embarrassedly, on the first day of junior high, a female classmate framed me for stealing her pencil sharpener. That's right. You cried in the room for the whole night. Hee, your mother and I were heartbroken. Papa Qin said. And the pencil sharpener that you bought for me was the same as hers, so she suspected me? Qin Mengyan nodded. Hee, I was still too young at that time and didn't know anything. It's not wrong to suspect. Your father often suspect others too. But that's just a suspicion. Do you remember what you said to the female classmate? Papa Qin laughed. I told her that there was no evidence. Why did she suspect me? Qin Mengyan laughed too. Didn't I learn from you since I was young? Everything must be based on evidence. Yeah, I remember that she told you that she heard it from someone else, right? Papa Qin asked. Yes, that's what she said, Qin Mengyan said. I told her that seeing is believing. That's right. What you hear is false, but what you see is true. But in many cases what you see with your own eyes might not be the truth. Qin Fei laughed and shook his head. For example, your pencil sharpener. She obviously saw it too. You have the same pencil sharpener here, but what she saw might not be the truth, right? That's right. What we see may not be the truth. Qin Mengyan didn't understand why her father suddenly said this to her, but her mood suddenly became better. She had a feeling of being enlightened. Sometimes when we see the existence of something, we will make a judgment based on our own wishful thinking and ignore the essence of the matter, Papa Qin continued. Dad, can you do me a favor? Qin Mengyan clenched her teeth and made a decision. Although this decision might arouse her father's suspicion, she couldn't stand it. Especially after listening to her father's words, she felt more restless. If she really misunderstood Yang Ming because of this, then, help? Of course, you don't have to be so polite with your father. Papa Qin knew that his daughter had thought it through. What's the matter? Just say it. Can you keep it a secret for me? Qin Mengyan hesitated. You won't even tell your mother? Papa Qin asked. And I'm afraid that Mom will scold me. Qin Mengyan nodded. All right, then you aren't afraid that I will scold you? Papa Qin smiled. You said it yourself just now. You are my friend now, not my father. Qin Mengyan retorted. All right, then I will keep it a secret for you. Now I am not your father but your friend. Papa Qin promised. Dad, wait for me for a while. Qin Mengyan stood up and quickly ran back to her room. After a while she came out with a stack of things. What is this? Papa Qin asked deliberately. Dad, I want you to help me find out. Did you have a mission today? If not, can you help me verify if these photos are photoshopped? Qin Mengyan handed the photos to her father. The novel had already said that the misunderstanding between little Mengyan and the protagonist was because of the appearance of the other female lead. Otherwise, little Mengyan wouldn't have tolerated the protagonist and other women if she didn't feel guilty. If this was considered as being depressed, then old you had nothing to say. Different people have different views. I will ruin your reputation, Yang Ming thought fiercely. However, compared to Wang Jitao there was still a huge gap. This strength referred to his economic strength and social status. Yang Ming could beat up Jin Gang on the streets, but he definitely wouldn't dare to beat up Wang Jitao. Jin Gang's biggest backer was his uncle, the school's political education director. However, Wang Jitao wasn't. If he beat him up, he would have plenty of opportunities to backstab him. Yang Ming didn't want his parents to be laid off because of him. Yang Ming believed that Wang Jitao had the ability to do so. As long as Father Wang gave Yang Father's factory some benefits, Yang Father's factory director would definitely be the first to lay off Yang Father. Money, in the end it was still money. The only difference between him and Wang Jitao was money. As for social status, Yang Ming believed that as long as he had money with his ability, it would be easy to make friends with some influential people. However, the most important thing now was to get into university. As long as he got into university, he would have enough time and reason to study how to make money. His parents wouldn't interfere with him. Thinking of this, Yang Ming fell into a deep sleep. Qin Mengyan, who knew the truth, also slept soundly. He had a dream, a very pleasant dream. She dreamt that the identification results of the photos were out. Her father told her that the photos were all computer-generated. Yang Ming came to find her the next day, and the two of them resolved the misunderstanding. Qin Mengyan dreamt that she actually kissed Yang Ming. Until the alarm went off, Qin Mengyan was still smiling. In the dream she didn't reject Yang Ming. How embarrassing. I believe that readers have already guessed that Father Qin was Qin Fei, the person in charge of Yang Ming's case. When he arrived at the police station, Qin Fei asked the technical department to collect the fingerprints on the photos. As for the authenticity of the photos, Qin Fei didn't think about it at all because these photos were definitely real. Captain Qin, is there any new progress in Wang Jitao's case? Xia Shui just came to work in the morning and heard her colleagues talking about Wang Jitao's case. For people like Xia Shui who just came out of the police academy, they always particularly hated evil, so they were particularly active in anything. And Wang Jitao took out a stack of photos. Qin Fei pointed to the things on the table and said, at least it can prove that Wang Jitao is an insider. So he said what his daughter told him yesterday. Wang Jitao is obviously lying. This isn't a police inspection at all. With this, we have reason to suspect that Wang Jitao is related to this matter. Xia Shui said, Captain Qin, let me take people to arrest Wang Jitao now. Xia Shui, don't mess around. Why are you in such a hurry? We haven't studied it in a meeting yet. Besides, the fingerprint record from the technical department hasn't come out yet. Qin Fei shook his head and said. That night when Qin Fei got off work, Qin Mengyan couldn't wait to ask him about the photos. Qin Fei didn't know how to explain Yang Ming's case. He hadn't decided whether to tell his daughter the truth of the matter. So he just said perfunctorily, Yonian, what can be determined now is that on the date of the photos, we didn't conduct an inspection of the earthly paradise. I also checked the case record and there wasn't a prostitute named Yang Ming. So we can preliminarily judge that Yang Ming didn't go to the prostitute. Really? Qin Mengyan was surprised and happy at the same time. It turned out that she really misunderstood Yang Ming. Really? As for the authenticity of the photos, this is not easy to identify. It requires very professional knowledge. Qin Fei said. So troublesome? Asked Qin Mengyan. But she didn't care about the authenticity of the photos. Last night she had already figured it out. When two people are together, the most important thing is to trust each other. Of course, you look at the newspaper. The photo of the South China tiger has been identified for so long, but the results were still divided into two groups. Qin Fei smiled. That's true. Qin Mengyan nodded and ran back to the room to study happily. Right, the hair clip. Qin Mengyan suddenly remembered the hair clip that she threw downstairs yesterday. She quickly put on her shoes and ran downstairs. Yonian, where are you going? Qin Fei was a little inexplicable. Are you going out? No, I'm going downstairs to pick up something. I'll be back soon. Qin Mengyan came downstairs and looked under her room window. Why is it gone? Qin Mengyan frowned. She was anxious. This was the first gift that Yang Ming gave her. I can only blame myself for being too impulsive yesterday. I actually threw such a meaningful thing downstairs. But the grass under the window was empty. There was no shadow of the hair clip. Logically, this kind of thing with a diamond should reflect light and be easy to find. Was it picked up by someone else? Qin Mengyan was a little depressed. But she was unwilling. Our little Mengyan classmate never thought that she would care so much about something. Love is harmful. Sister Yen, what are you looking for? A little girl who was playing downstairs ran to Qin Mengyan and asked. Qin Mengyan looked up and found that it was the child of her father's colleague. Sister is looking for a hair clip. Can you help me find it? Qin Mengyan smiled. Hair clip? Is it pink with a little butterfly pattern? The little girl suddenly asked. And Qin Mengyan heard and nodded excitedly. Yes, yes. Did you see it? Yes, I picked it up and gave it to the guard of the community. I'll take you to get it. The little girl nodded. Qin Mengyan and the little girl came to the security room of the community. It was easy to get the hair clip from yesterday. Qin Mengyan looked left and right and found that it wasn't broken. Then she was relieved. Hey, it seems that God is looking after me. Qin Mengyan thought so. But why didn't Yang Ming call me? He should at least call and ask me, right? On the right side of Yang Ming there was a wall. On the other side of the wall was an aisle corridor. The other side of the corridor was also the examination hall. In other words, Yang Ming could refer to more people's answers. The first subject was Chinese. This was considered a weakness for Yang Ming because many of the answers were inductive and summative. There were also 2 essays. These couldn't be copied. However, other basic knowledge could be borrowed from others. Therefore, when the paper came out, Yang Ming began to focus on the essay. The content of the essay was to write an 800-word essay based on a paragraph of text. This paragraph of text was about a tourist, an eagle, and a sea turtle. This kind of nonsensical essay was the best for Yang Ming. After a series of fabrications to explain his point of view, he made an inductive conclusion and an essay was written. The other questions were easy to deal with. He just had to follow the synthesis and induction written by others. It was estimated that the score of this paper wouldn't be low. The other subjects were also done in this way. Yang Ming estimated that there wouldn't be any problem to be admitted to Songjiang Industry University. But what could he do even if he was admitted? When he thought of Qin Mingyan, Yang Ming's mood began to be depressed again. Forget it. I will just treat it as winning glory for my parents. Yang Ming thought in his heart. In fact, although this matter affected Yang Ming's mood, it couldn't affect Yang Ming's results. Yang Ming's results came from his special ability. It had nothing to do with his exam mood. Even if his mood was bad, as long as his special ability was still in his body, Yang Ming could still get good results. The pitiful thing was that Wang Jitao wanted to harm Yang Ming, but he shot himself in the foot. On the first day of the exam, Wang Jitao couldn't use the word bad to describe it. The Chinese essay was turned into a fantasy novel. The essay topic was reborn as a tortoise. This wasn't the end of it. The H-plot appeared n times. He would be grateful if he didn't get his marks deducted. Wang Jitao didn't want to do this, but his brain was dizzy. He didn't know what he was writing. When his spirit was a little better the next day, he thought of the stupid essay he wrote on the first day. He knew that he had no hope in the college entrance examination. His mood was very low and he didn't perform well in the following subjects. After the college entrance examination, the first thing Yang Ming wanted to do was to study how he could make money. Yang Ming first thought was to buy a lottery ticket, but at this time, Songjiang didn't have such lottery tickets. So he had to think of another way. After the college entrance examination, Yang Ming received a call from Zhang Bin. Yang Ming, how was the exam? Is it okay to go to Songjiang Industry University? It's okay. How about you? Yang Ming knew that Zhang Bin's grades weren't good. With his standard, it was good to go to college. Me? You know my standard. But my dad said that as long as it's not too bad, we can find someone to go to XX college in Songjiang Industry University. Zhang Bin said, we still go to school together. It's just that my graduation certificate is different from yours. But it doesn't matter. My dad has arranged a way for me. After graduation, I will sell jewelry with him. It's better to have a good father than to learn mathematics and physics. This sentence was right. Yang Ming was a little speechless. Zhang Bin's grades were very bad, but he could inherit the family business in the future. Zhang Bin's father was in the jewelry business. Although it wasn't as good as Wang Jitao's family's Xiongfeng group, it was still a rich man. So, Zhang Bin didn't need to worry about money. In my opinion, you don't even need to go to college. You can just help your dad directly. Yang Ming smiled. How can that be? I still want to play for 2 more years. Besides, I want to study business management in the future. My dad also agrees. After all, the management experience of the older generation isn't very suitable in the future. Zhang Bin said. That's right. Right, why are you looking for me? Asked Yang Ming. How about going out for a walk? You are so bored at home. Zhang Bin suggested. In the class, he had a good relationship with Yang Ming. Both of them sat at the same table. They were both bad students, so their relationship was relatively close. After that, Yang Ming suddenly became a force to be reckoned with, but he didn't despise Zhang Bin because of this. This made Zhang Bin feel very happy. He made a real friend. Hey, I have nothing to do. Where do you want to go? Asked Yang Ming. Come to my house, said Zhang Bin. Damn, where is your house? I haven't been there before, said Yang Ming. Huashang District. You can take a taxi here. Hurry up. I will reimburse you. Zhang Bin knew the situation of Yang Ming's family, so he said directly. Okay, this is what you said. I will go around Songjiang. You have to reimburse me. Yang Ming wasn't polite. Okay, I am looking at the watch. If you don't arrive in 15 minutes, it will be invalid, said Zhang Bin immediately. No problem. Yang Ming hung up the phone, put on his shoes and went downstairs. Out of the community, he directly stopped a taxi and went straight to Zhang Bin's house. After the college entrance examination, Qin Mengyan had nothing to do. She sat next to the computer and looked at the web page in boredom. Humph, damn Yongming, why haven't you called me yet? Qin Mengyan raised her small fist and said angrily. However, at noon Qin Mengyan couldn't help it. She picked up the phone and called Yongming. I don't care if I am reserved or not. I am going all out. However, after the phone was connected, no one answered for a long time. This Yongming, he didn't stay at home after the exam. Where did he go? Qin Mengyan hung up the phone with some frustration. She wanted to call again later, but Qin Mengyan couldn't find the courage just now. She wanted to reach out a few times, but she retracted her hand. At this moment, Yongming just went out of the house. Thus, the fate of the two people once again brushed past each other. Yongming. When Yongming got out of the car, Zhang Bin ran over. It seemed that he had been waiting here for a long time. Yongming wanted to pay the fare, but Zhang Bin directly handed the driver a 10 yuan bill. From Yongming's house to here it was 9 yuan. Plus 1 yuan of fuel surcharge, it was exactly 10 yuan. Yongming didn't argue with him. He knew that Zhang Bin's family was rich, so he didn't care about this. What Yongming lacked most now was money. Chapter 102. Sit anywhere. You're welcome. Yongming, what do you want to eat? There are fruits on the coffee table. Help yourself. Zhang Bin opened the refrigerator and took out 2 bottles of drinks. He handed one to Yongming. Wang Laoji. Hey, I've been heaty these 2 days. Yongming took it and didn't hold back. He opened it and poured it into his mouth. What's there to be heaty about? You're proud of your relationship and exam. Zhang Bin sat beside Yongming. Relationship? Yongming smiled bitterly. I don't know how Qin Mengyan is doing. What's wrong, Yongming? Did you have a fight with your sister-in-law? Zhang Bin asked. I guess so. Let's not talk about this anymore. Yongming shook his head. Yongming, let me tell you. Girls need to be coaxed. You're a man. You have to take the initiative. Zhang Bin said, don't blame me for not reminding you. Qin Mengyan is such an outstanding girl. He has a lot of pursuers. Don't let them take advantage of you. Hey, I know what I'm doing. Yongming was in a dilemma. From a relationship point of view, he was reluctant. But from the perspective of things, he felt that he couldn't take the initiative to be friendly with Qin Mengyan. When he saw Wang Jitao looking for Qin Mengyan, he didn't think much about it. Because he knew that his girlfriend wasn't monitored every day. He had to give her enough trust. Even if Wang Jitao looked for Qin Mengyan, Yongming didn't think that Qin Mengyan would do anything to hurt him. So he gave Qin Mengyan trust and privacy. But on the contrary, Qin Mengyan listened to some of Wang Jitao's slanderous words and doubted him. This made Yongming feel very disappointed. Then I won't say anything else. That's all. By the way, let's go to my dad's company later. He just got a new batch of jade pendants. You can pick one and give it to sister-in-law. She will be fine the next day. Zhang Bin said. How can that be? How embarrassing. Yongming quickly refused. Jewelry was very expensive. Yongming didn't dare to accept it casually. Hey, a broken jade pendant wasn't anything valuable. It only cost around 100 yuan. When I go to university, my dad said that he will prepare 20 to 30 of them for me to carry with me. If I see any girl, I will give them to her. I will cast a wide net and focus on nurturing her. Zhang Bin said with a lewd smile. Alright, let's talk about it when the time comes. Yongming heard Zhang Bin's words and knew that these things were really nothing to their family. After playing the Wii and Xbox 360 at Zhang Bin's house for a while, Yongming couldn't help but be amazed. There was actually such a fun game console. When I have the money, I will buy one too. In the afternoon, Yongming and Zhang Bin came to the jewelry market at Changjiang Road. Zhang Bin's family company was here. Of course, there were many stores and other shopping malls. Dad, this is my good brother Yongming. He is the top student in our class. He is also preparing to enter Songjiang Industry University. Zhang Bin introduced him to a middle-aged man with a square face who was around 40 years old. Welcome. Once Zhang Jiefeng heard that his son was the top student in his class, he immediately smiled. Especially when he knew that Yongming was going to enter Songjiang Industry University, he was very enthusiastic. Who wouldn't want their child to play with a good student? Yongming, take care of Zhang Bin in school in the future. Don't worry, Uncle Zhang. Yang Ming and I are good brothers. Yang Ming said with a smile. It seemed that Zhang Bin's father was quite approachable. No wonder Zhang Bin was never worried when he messed up in his exams. Dad, I brought Yang Ming here to pick a few pieces of jewelry for sister-in-law. I mean Yang Ming's girlfriend. Zhang Bin said directly. Zhang Bin. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed when he heard that. How could he say such things in front of his parents? This Zhang Bin, isn't he looking for trouble? Girlfriend? Zhang Jiefeng was stunned and immediately scolded. Zhang Bin, look at Yang Ming. Not only is he good in his studies, but he also has a girlfriend before entering university. When are you going to bring one back for me? Don't play those erotic videos all day long. You should learn from Yang Ming. Yang Ming was stunned. He sweated profusely. There are actually such parents. Yes. Wait until I enter university. I will definitely bring one back for you. Zhang Bin said to Yang Ming quietly and said to Zhang Jiefeng. And this is what you said. Zhang Jiefeng nodded and then said to Yang Ming, you should help Zhang Bin with his matters. You should also help me check on him. Okay. Yang Ming sweated again. Dad, where is the new batch of jade pendants? Zhang Bin asked. Oh, you were talking about the batch from last week. I sorted out a portion and sold it at the store. There are still some left in the warehouse. Zhang Jiefeng said, the quality of these jade pendants isn't very good. They are substandard goods. You should bring Yang Ming to pick a better one. It's too cold to give away those jade pendants. Then should I bring Yang Ming to pick some gold and silver jewelry? Zhang Bin asked. Sure, you can decide for those that are less than 1,000 yuan. Zhang Jiefeng said straightforwardly. Uncle Zhang, it doesn't have to be so expensive. Just pick a jade pendant. Gifts don't have to be too good. It's just a thought. When Yang Ming heard that it was 1,000 yuan, he quickly declined. Then it's up to you. Zhang Bin, you take care of Yang Ming. I still have something to do. Zhang Jiefeng said. Dad, you do what you need to do. Zhang Bin nodded casually. Yang Ming didn't know much about jade pendants. He just casually picked one that looked good and held it in his hand. Yang Ming, you should pick more. After all, they are all my dad's. This guy is rich. Let's just treat it as killing the rich to help the poor. Zhang Bin suggested. Zhang Bin, if your dad heard this, wouldn't he be pissed to death? You also said that the pendant is your dad's. If it's yours, I won't hold back. Yang Ming laughed. That's true. Wait until I inherit the family business. You can take whatever you want. Zhang Bin nodded after listening. I'll drive a truck here. Yang Ming shook his head. Sure. You can even drive a tank here. Zhang Bin said after listening. At night, after Zhang Jiefeng finished his work, he invited Zhang Bin and Yang Ming out for a meal. Zhang Bin's mother was in charge of the store. She got off work late, so she didn't come over. Zhang Jiefeng's car was a Chrysler 300C. It was black in color and looked very stylish. Uncle Zhang, this car isn't bad. Yang Ming praised. It's a business car. It's not expensive. It's only around 300,000. Zhang Jiefeng laughed. I like this car's style. It's very manly when you drive it. Indeed, the Chrysler 300C had a very expressive American design style and excellent German technology. This vintage luxury business car was favored by many businessmen. Yang Ming also liked this car. However, 300,000 was still an astronomical figure for him. Zhang Jiefeng drove the car to a high-end seafood restaurant near the labor park. After he got out of the car, he passed the key to the parking lot security guard and asked him to park the car for him. Then he brought Zhang Bin and Yang Ming into the hotel. Yang Ming had the experience of going to earthly paradise. He didn't feel strange coming to such a high-end hotel. He calmly followed the waiter to a booth. Zhang Jiefeng didn't hesitate. He ordered 4 to 5 dishes in one go. He only put down the menu when Yang Ming stopped him and said that he couldn't eat anymore. Zhang Bin, in a few days I'm going to Yunnan for a business deal. Do you want to go with me? Zhang Jiefeng poured himself a glass of beer. Follow you to Yunnan? It's meaningless for me to be left behind when you have to do your business. Zhang Bin shook his head. Why is it only you? Isn't there still Yang Ming? You two can have fun by yourselves. I'll just give you the money. Zhang Jiefeng continued. Since the National Higher Education Entrance Examination has ended, you can relax a little. Great. I'll go. Zhang Bin heard that he could go with Yang Ming, so he immediately shouted happily. Previously he went with Zhang Jiefeng before. However, he was a kid in a group of 40 to 50 years old people. He couldn't have fun. I'll go. That's not good, right? Yang Ming was a little moved. Since he was young, he hadn't been to other places because of his family condition. With such a good opportunity in front of him, Yang Ming was naturally happy. However, he was afraid that it would bring trouble to Zhang Jiefeng. What's not good about it? Logically speaking, I'm the one begging you to go with Zhang Bin. Zhang Jiefeng said, if you don't go, Zhang Bin definitely won't go. Take it as uncle begging you. Uncle Zhang, please don't say that. I'll go. Since Yang Ming saw that Zhang Jiefeng said so, he couldn't say anything else. He quickly agreed, but he didn't insist. Uncle Zhang, I still have to go back home and discuss with my parents. That's easy. If they don't agree, you can give Uncle Zhang a call. I'll help you talk to them. Zhang Jiefeng said. A meal cost more than 1,000 yuan. However, Zhang Jiefeng didn't care. He seemed to think that this was a very common thing. Yang Ming sighed. He couldn't even reach the well-off level of Zhang Bin's family. How could he compete with Wang Jitao's family? It seemed that he had to find a way to get rich quickly with his special ability. Chapter 103. At night, Yang Ming told his parents about the idea of going to Yunnan with Zhang Bin. Yang's father and mother Yang agreed, but they were worried. Big Ming, it's not good for you to eat and live in other people's houses. Tomorrow Dad will withdraw some money for you. We still have a lot of money from the lottery. Dad, I still have some money on hand. I haven't spent the prize money from the heroic deed. Yang Ming's account had 20,000 yuan. It seemed like he could use it to do something. Oh yes, speaking of heroic deeds, I have to remind you that it's best to think twice before you act. When you're outside, you have to be careful at all times. Don't get into unnecessary trouble. If you encounter any difficulties, let the adults help you. You and Zhang Bin shouldn't decide on your own. Yang Dehai reminded him. That I know. Don't worry. I won't take the initiative to get into trouble. Yang Ming nodded and promised. In fact, even if his parents didn't say anything, Yang Ming would still be careful. Yunnan was at the border. It was connected to Myanmar and the Golden Triangle. There were a lot of drug dealers. These were all international criminal organizations. They were different from Yuxiangda. Yang Ming couldn't afford to offend them. And then I won't say much. Don't bring too much cash with you. Deposit it in your bank card and withdraw it when you need it. Oh yeah, the son of Aunt Wang who works with your mom in the community is from XX Bank. Ask him to help you apply for a gold card. The withdrawal fee can be reduced by half. Yang Dehai thought about it and said, hey, that's great. Although the withdrawal fee was reduced by half, it was better to save as much as possible. Besides, applying for a gold card wasn't a problem. The college entrance exam results would be out around June 25th, so it wouldn't delay anything if he went out. On June 11th at 5 a.m., Zhang Jiefeng's Chrysler appeared on time at Yang Ming's house. Today, Zhang Jiefeng's driver was driving. Zhang Jiefeng sat in the front passenger seat. Zhang Bin sat in the back seat. When he saw Yang Ming coming, he quickly opened the door and took over Yang Ming's luggage. Why did you bring so many things? Didn't I tell you? You don't have to bring anything with you when you go out to play. Just bring someone with you. If you lack anything, just spend money to buy it. I only brought a few sets of clothes. I didn't bring anything else. In fact, Yang Ming's bag was stuffed with a lot of daily necessities by Mother Yang, such as soap, towels and toothbrushes. Yang Ming was really helpless, but he couldn't refuse. Yang Ming knew that these things were definitely available in big hotels. For a boss like Zhang Jiefeng, he definitely wouldn't stay in a small hotel on the street. You don't have to bring clothes either. Look at me, I didn't bring anything. We can just buy some local clothes. The staff member asked, you know, lying at the airport may be subject to legal liability. Sure. Yang Ming nodded. The staff member gave a look to the person on the side. The person immediately walked to the side of the man in sunglasses. Sorry, sir. Please cooperate with us to do another security check. Do it again? Why, didn't you do it already? What do you mean? The man in sunglasses said with some dissatisfaction. Cooperating with the security staff is the responsibility and obligation of every passenger. Please abide by it. The staff member said. Damn. Is there a mistake? The man in sunglasses reluctantly followed the staff member back to the security desk. Because of Yang Ming's report, the security staff carefully checked the luggage of the man in sunglasses. As a result, they found a lead umbrella at the bottom. There was a knife in the umbrella. Yang Ming shook his head. It turned out that the X-ray couldn't penetrate lead items, and the umbrella was at the bottom of the luggage, so it was possible that it wasn't found during the inspection. Nowadays, airport security in many places had been replaced with the latest X-ray machine. It could penetrate metal and the inspection was very strict. However, because of the plot of the novel, it was set that the X-ray machine in Songjiang Airport couldn't penetrate lead items. However, at this moment Yang Ming already regretted it. Although in a sense I did a good thing. This guy who took a knife on the plane definitely wanted to do something, but what if someone noticed me and asked me how I knew that this guy had a knife in his bag? Yang Ming didn't want to expose his ability. Thinking of this, Yang Ming took advantage of the chaos at this moment and quickly walked in the direction of the departure hall in front. Yang Ming, why are you walking so fast? Zhang Bin just passed the security check and saw Yang Ming walking in front, so he quickly shouted. Seeing that Zhang Bin caught up with him, Yang Ming hesitated and said, I just found a knife at the security check. I was afraid that there would be an accident, so I left first. Oh. So that's it. Zhang Bin shook his head. There are too many crazy people in this world. Fortunately, until the plane took off, no one came to find Yang Ming. Probably because the two security staff were more serious, they didn't care about Yang Ming, the informant. And the matter was as Yang Ming expected. The two staff almost lost their jobs because of a moment of negligence. How would they have the mind to care about Yang Ming? Here. Zhang Bin took out 2 game consoles from his backpack and handed one to Yang Ming. Ndisao, you bought 2? Yang Ming looked at the silver machine in his hand and looked at the white machine in Zhang Bin's hand and asked, You didn't buy another one because of me, right? Yeah, your one is a domestic limited edition platinum. I just bought it yesterday. Chapter 104. At around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the 3 of them arrived at Yunnan. Zhang Jiefeng's business partner was there to meet them. Once they got off the plane, the other party welcomed them warmly. Boss Zhang, how have you been? The other party shook hands with Zhang Jiefeng. Boss Wu, you even changed your car to a Hummer. It seems like you earned quite a bit this year. Zhang Jiefeng laughed. You flatter me. It's all thanks to you guys who took care of me. Wu Fatsai said. Wu Fatsai's name was interesting. When he was young, his family was poor. His parents hoped that he would be rich in the future, so they gave him the name Wu Fatsai. His surname was Wu, so it sounded like he wasn't rich. But Wu Fatsai had made a lot of money in the past few years. From a few thousand yuan at the beginning, he had earned hundreds of millions. Why? How's the goods this time? You know that I'm not an expert, so I rarely play this game. I only play when the goods have a high quality. Zhang Jiefeng said. Boss Zhang, don't worry. The stones from Myanmar are definitely good. If it wasn't because we were drinking at the table, I wouldn't have thought of helping you. Wu Fatsai said. How's the price? This was the question that Zhang Jiefeng was most concerned about. A goods. The price is about the same as B goods. 500 yuan per piece. Wu Fatsai said. 500. So expensive? Wasn't it 200 the last time I was here? Zhang Jiefeng asked exaggeratedly. My boss Zhang, you are in this business. How could you not know? The last time it was B goods and the stones weren't as big as this one. Wu Fatsai said, You will know when you see the goods tomorrow. Wu Fatsai had already arranged a place for them to stay. It was a 3-star hotel. The environment wasn't bad. Since it was arranged by others, Zhang Jiefeng couldn't be picky. Moreover, this place was really good. After placing the luggage, Wu Fatsai arranged a table for Zhang Jiefeng to welcome him. Zhang Jiefeng saw this and knew that even if tomorrow's goods weren't ideal, he had to take a few 100,000 yuan as a gesture. But in the business field it was a matter of face. Although the benefits came first, under the situation of not harming both parties' benefits, face had to be taken care of. When they returned to the hotel at night, Zhang Jiefeng gave Zhang Bin 10,000 yuan and said, The 2 of you can go and play by yourselves tomorrow. If you don't have enough money, call me again. No problem. Zhang Bin quickly took the money. Usually Zhang Jiefeng would give him a few 100 yuan as pocket money. This was the first time he was so generous. By the way, Uncle Zhang, what were you and Uncle Wu talking about today? Yang Ming was a little curious. Just now when he was at the table he was confused. A broken stone could be sold for 500 yuan? How could there be such a profitable thing in this world? Yang Ming really couldn't understand how Wu Fatsai could earn a net worth of hundreds of millions just by reselling stones for 3 years. What kind of speed was this? If he could find a similar line of work, It would only be a matter of time before he surpassed Wang Jitao. Oh, you were talking about the jadeite stone? Zhang Jefeng drank a little too much. He wanted to show off in front of the younger generation. If it was a normal day, Zhang Jefeng could still maintain the dignity of an elder. Now he was like Yang Ming's buddy. He sat on the bed of the hotel and started to talk. Yang Ming, you know that Uncle Zhang is in the jewelry business. Other than gold, jade is also one of my most important business projects. Real jade has two types, soft and hard. Usually jade refers to nephrite. Hard jade has another popular name, jadeite. The stones that we talked about with your Uncle Wu today were unopened jadeite stones. In other words, we don't know if they are jadeite stones. Because jadeite has a few grades, the best ones are the ones that we are talking about. Those that are behind are the inferior ones. Jadeite stones look like stones, so we usually call them stones in the industry. The trade of jadeite stones is the most mysterious trade in the jewelry industry. Its mystery lies in the word gambling. Therefore, the buyer is also known as gambling on jadeite and stone. The surface of the jadeite stone usually has a layer of skin. Due to oxidation, the skin has become maroon, or various other colors. Generally, from the surface, you can't tell its true appearance at first glance. Even today, with the advancement of science, there is no instrument that can quickly determine whether the jadeite stone is jadeite or broken jade. At your uncle's level, I only play around occasionally. This kind of thing requires a lot of luck. Moreover, people don't even allow you to bring equipment to gamble on jadeite stones. It was the first time that Yang Ming heard of such a trade in this world. Isn't this almost the same as buying lottery tickets? Lottery. Wait, Yang Ming seemed to have grasped something. Uncle Zhang, I want to go to the stone gambling place with you tomorrow. Can I? Of course, why not? If you are interested, Uncle can give you a few pieces. You and Zhang Bin can play with them by hand. Zhang Jefeng said. Yang Ming, let's not go. What's there to see? Why don't we go around and play? Zhang Bin obviously wasn't interested in this. Zhang Bin, I haven't seen him before. I'm curious. It won't take up much time, so let's go and have a look. Yang Ming suggested. Yeah, Zhang Bin, what's wrong with you, kid? Yang Ming is the guest and you are the host. It's natural for the host to accompany the guest. Alright, if you aren't willing, I won't give you pocket money in the future. Of course, Zhang Jefeng wanted to let Zhang Bin come into contact with this industry. Because of his huge family business, Zhang Bin would definitely inherit it in the future. If Zhang Bin had more contact, it wouldn't do any harm to him in the future. Alright then. I'll go. When Zhang Bin heard that he wasn't going to give money, he immediately became listless. Yang Ming smiled. How could he not understand Zhang Jefeng's meaning? But he didn't expose it. It was fine as long as he could achieve his goal. When he returned to the room at night, Zhang Bin was dissatisfied. He asked bitterly, Yang Ming, why are you interested in these things? It's so boring. Yeah, I'm just curious. Yang Ming explained. Big brother, can't you be curious about something useful? I was still hoping to get a girl. Zhang Bin complained. Get a girl. Forget about Yunnan. Haven't you read a novel by Wesley? It's about a person who had a one-night stand here. In the end, the one-night stand was a virgin. She wanted to force the person to marry her. Of course, the person didn't agree, so he ran away. In the end, the girl was angry and poisoned him. In the end, the person almost exploded and died. Yang Ming said, Damn, big brother, don't scare me. Why is what you said so pseudoscientific? Zhang Bin couldn't help but feel a chill. Science? Yang Ming laughed. But in this world there were a lot of things that couldn't be explained by science. Just like my special ability. Is it science or pseudoscience? You said it was science, right? With the current level of technology it couldn't be explained. If you said it was pseudoscience, then how could you explain the phenomenon on Yang Ming's body? Therefore, things that couldn't be explained by science couldn't be explained by pseudoscience. What I said was true. If you don't believe me, you can try. Yang Ming decided to tease him. Oh, damn, if I knew this, I wouldn't have come to this damn place. Damn, I'm so unlucky. Zhang Bin fell on the bed dejectedly. I'm just scaring you. In fact, there are very few people who know how to use voodoo. In Yunnan, only the Miao people know how to use voodoo. Of course, not all of the Miao people know how to use voodoo. Only a small number of people know how to use voodoo, and this small number of people usually live in isolated villages. They don't interact with others. Yang Ming looked at Zhang Bin's appearance and couldn't help but find it funny. Besides, these people have a rule in their tribe. They are not allowed to use voodoo on unrelated people. Damn, I still feel that this is mysterious enough. No, I've decided. Zhang Bin suddenly shouted. You've decided? What did you decide? Yang Ming thought that he decided not to pick up girls here. I've decided. Before I pick up a girl, I have to check her ID card to see if she's from a minority ethnic group. Zhang Bin said. Yang Ming was speechless. Is it that exaggerated? I'm just applying what I just learned. It's just a casual remark. This night Yang Ming slept very well. Although the environment changed, Yang Ming's heart was very stable. This was because he finally found a place where he could use his strength. Even if he wasn't sure, he could at least try. The next morning after breakfast, Zhang Jiefeng gave Wu Futsai a call. Then he brought Zhang Bin and Yang Ming to Yunnan's Tingcheng. This was one of the main distribution centers of jadeite in the country. However, this was only a small matter. This was because the jewelry merchants who had connections didn't pick up their goods in Tingcheng anymore. Instead, they went directly to Yangon to pick up their goods. For example, Wu Futsai would pick up his goods in Yangon and sell them back in China. Chapter 105. Tingcheng County was only 80 kilometers away from the world's only source of raw jade, Myanmar. In the 70s, the country introduced a policy to develop foreign trade. Tingcheng's raw jade business started to prosper again. In the decades after that, Tingcheng played an important role in the global jade trade center. That was the spring of Tingcheng's jade industry. In 1996, the Myanmar government announced that private trading of raw jade was not allowed. They blocked the smuggling route of Myanmar merchants. Most of the jade trade returned to Myanmar. That was the beginning of the winter of Tingcheng's jade trade. Powerful merchants went directly to Myanmar's Hua City or Yangon to get their goods. Tingcheng became a place for small and medium merchants. Jewelry merchants like Zhang Jiefeng could only go to Tingcheng to get their goods. He had enough money to go to Myanmar, but he didn't have the experience. For example, the raw jade auction in Yangon was sold in piles. A pile of stones could be sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions. People like Zhang Jiefeng who didn't have the experience only had two options. One was to get a jade and his value would skyrocket to hundreds of millions. The other was to go bankrupt and buy a pile of junk. Therefore, Zhang Jiefeng would rather buy a normal raw jade for 500 yuan a kilogram than gamble in Yangon. Wu Futsai had already rushed back to Tingcheng last night. Because Zhang Jiefeng had just arrived in Yunnan, he rested in Kunming for a night. There was no flight from Kunming to Tingcheng. They could only take a bus. They left at 8 a.m. and arrived at 8 p.m. Because Yang Ming and the rest followed, the hotel in Kunming was cancelled. On the bus, Yang Ming tried his best to ask Zhang Jiefeng about jade. Uncle Zhang, 500 yuan for a kilogram of stone, can you get your money back? That's hard to say. If you are lucky you can earn a lot. If you are unlucky you can break even. Of course there are times when you lose money. You can only get junk jade. That's a small probability. If you buy a few thousand stones you can at least get some good jade, right? Zhang Jiefeng smiled. Look at the jade pendants sold on the streets. They are actually jade but there are too many impurities. They are considered bad jade. Usually when I get this kind of stone I will sell it to the small craftsmen. They will process it and sell it. I keep my own goods are A grade or B grade goods. In fact, sometimes one stone can earn back all the cost. Can't you see the quality of the stone from the outside? Asked Yang Ming. Of course you can't see it. Not to mention looking from the outside, even with an X-ray from the inside, it was not easy to determine the quality of the jade. They could only open it up and see. Of course, if anyone had X-ray vision they would be able to see it directly. Ah, just kidding. Zhang Jiefeng laughed. Sir, is there a problem? The lobby manager saw it when the two came in. Zhang Bin was a veteran and Yang Ming was a novice, so she didn't dare to fool Zhang Bin. My buddy came to this kind of place for the first time. Is there any cleaner goods? Asked Zhang Bin. Chapter 106. We do have this but the price isn't 200 anymore. The lobby manager hesitated and said. I know this. Give me a price. Zhang Bin said. 3,000, it's a virgin. The lobby manager said softly. Virgin? Nothing bad will happen, right? Zhang Bin asked suspiciously. Her dad sent her here personally. He took 2,000 from me so I added 1,000. It's reasonable. The lobby manager explained. Zhang Bin nodded. Money wasn't a problem. He had more than 10,000 in his pocket. When he was outside, he was most afraid of getting into unnecessary trouble. In Songjiang, Zhang Jiefeng was considered a boss. He had a lot of authority, but it was different here. Once something happened, it wouldn't be easy to settle it. As for how much the lobby manager earned, Zhang Bin didn't care. Whether it was 1,000 or 2,000, it had nothing to do with him. My uncle is in the stone business here. Don't lie to me. To be on the safe side, Zhang Bin warned the lobby manager. In Tingchong, those who were in the stone business were usually rich and ruthless people. It was more than enough to deal with a bathing center. How can that be? Don't worry. The lobby manager said with a smile. I'll say this first. If there isn't any blood, I won't give you the 3,000. Zhang Bin said. Don't worry, boss. I guarantee that your brother will be satisfied. I guarantee a virgin's body and a slut's passion. The lobby manager smiled. After a few words, the lobby manager went to arrange it. Zhang Bin smiled at Yang Ming lecherously. Don't worry, brother. I guarantee that you will be satisfied. Men carry guns together, go through windows together, and visit prostitutes together. We have 2 of them. Gaga. Zhang Bin, what did you say to the lobby manager just now? Yang Ming asked, even though he already knew. When he saw the lobby manager and Zhang Bin's lips, he already knew what they were talking about. Yang Ming's heart was struggling fiercely. Although he felt that going to prostitution was a little too much, men were animals who thought with the lower half of their body. It was fine to indulge once in a while, right? Was it necessary for her to protect her chastity? For whom? For Qin Mengyan. In the past few days, Yang Ming also understood that Wang Jitao and Qin Mengyan's words were nothing more than him betraying her. It was very likely that they were talking about Lin Jiun's incident. Since Qin Mengyan didn't trust him, why should he care so much about these things? Therefore, when Yang Ming saw the lobby manager say that there were clean chicks, Yang Ming's heart started to itch again. Yang Ming didn't think that he was a lecher, but he wasn't a loyal person either. Therefore, it also caused him to want Qin Mengyan and even Zhao Ying after sleeping with Lin Jiun. Looking for a prostitute was actually similar to a one-night stand. The difference was that one spent money and the other didn't. Now that someone was spending money for him and the other party was a clean girl, Yang Ming didn't mind doing something with her. If it were before, Yang Ming might still hesitate, but now there was no Qin Mengyan's burden. Yang Ming didn't have to do anything for anyone. Since Zhang Bing had put it this way, if he still refused, it would be a little disrespectful to his brother. Zhang Bin might not say anything on the surface, but there would definitely be some unnaturalness between the 2 of them in the future. Therefore, Yang Ming gritted his teeth. It was better to talk to the sister first. If they hit it off, they would naturally go to bed. If they didn't hit it off, he had to pretend. At least he had to wait until Zhang Bin was done. Hey, I found you a clean one. I heard that she is a virgin. Yang Ming, you're so good. I haven't slept with a virgin yet. Zhang Bin said with an exaggerated expression. I'm telling you. Pay attention to see if there are any drops of blood. If there aren't, I won't give them a penny. Yang Ming was speechless. This is too straightforward. Usually in school, I only knew that this kid was very erotic. He always did sex videos and one-night stands. I didn't expect him to be such a pervert. There was money to be made. The lobby manager was naturally happy. He said to the 2 waiters next to him, what about the little girl that was sent in the morning? She fell asleep after messing around for a while. Said the waiters. Give her a bowl of medicine and send it to the private room upstairs. Ordered the lobby manager. Give her medicine? That's not very good, right? Asked the waiters. What's not good about it? Her father doesn't want her anymore. The lobby manager glared at the waiters and said, you hurry up and do it. The customer already said that if you don't serve her well, you won't get a penny. I know. The waiters saw that the lobby manager was angry. They didn't dare to say anything and immediately did as they were told. After arranging all of this, the lobby manager took Yang Ming and Zhang Bin to the private room upstairs. Of course, it was 2 private rooms. Otherwise, no one would feel good. Every minute of the spring night is worth 1,000 gold. Yang Ming, you have to feel good for a while. There aren't many chances. Zhang Bin said with a lewd smile. In this way, Yang Ming entered the private room half-heartedly. The door was closed with a bang. As soon as he entered the room, Yang Ming felt a hot body leaning toward him. Damn. Yang Ming's first thought was that he was cheated. Is this a pure girl? Listening to Zhang Bin's words, this girl should be a virgin. But is there a virgin who takes the initiative? Before Yang Ming could react, two red lips were on Yang Ming's mouth. She sucked on Yang Ming's lips. Her mouth made some vague and strange sounds. Isn't this too passionate? Yang Ming had some doubts. From a physical point of view, he was very infatuated with this crazy feeling. Moreover, reason told him that this was just a one-night stand. He should pat his butt and leave. Moreover, this little loli might not be an adult yet. Who knows if there would be trouble if he did it with her. Yang Ming was not stupid. From the girl's performance just now, it was obvious that she had been drugged. Just like last time in Earthly Paradise, sex with people was completely out of an instinct to vent. When she woke up, would she cry and make a fuss? Yang Ming regretted it again. How could this be so messed up? He said to the cashier at the front desk, "Give this to the girl surnamed Lon later." Yang Ming knew that the girl's surname was Lon. Feeling the lobby manager's ambiguous eyes behind him, Yang Ming felt a little unnatural. In the room, Lon Ling had already woken up. After Yang Ming went out, she opened her eyes and stared at the closed door. She said faintly, "Mom was right. Sure enough, there are no good men. You patted your butt and left, so don't blame me." Originally, Lon Ling thought that Yang Ming was a dead man when the door opened with a click. Lon Ling saw that the man who had just ravaged her was back. It was not appropriate to say that he had ravaged her. Although Lon Ling was forced to take the aphrodisiac, she was still conscious. It seemed that she took more initiative. So Lon Ling made a decision. If this man treated her better afterwards, she would tell him a secret. After all, she was also responsible for this matter. But if he patted his butt and left, then she would let him fend for himself. Seeing Yang Ming come in, Lon Ling subconsciously covered herself with the quilt, leaving only the part of her eyes exposed. She looked at Yang Ming nervously. "You're awake?" Yang Ming asked awkwardly. Lon Ling did not speak. "This is the medicine I bought for you. Take it." Yang Ming put the box of birth control pills in front of the bed, and then opened the bottle of mineral water in his hand. "You don't want to get pregnant." Lon Ling looked at the birth control pills in front of her and then looked at Yang Ming. "You came back to give me the pills?" Yang Ming didn't know how to answer. He nodded and then shook his head. Lon Ling frowned. "If this is the case, you can go. I don't need to take the pills. I will deal with it myself." "I'm actually..." Yang Ming gritted his teeth. "Damn, isn't it just persuading people? Can you not do this in the future? Then what should I do?" Lon Ling asked faintly. But there was a smile at the corner of her mouth. Girls were very concerned about their first time, especially girls like Lon Ling who had received traditional education since childhood. Therefore, in her heart, she was more inclined to think that Yang Ming would be good to her, instead of leaving her here and running away. Because the quilt completely covered Lon Ling's face, Yang Ming couldn't see her expression. He didn't know if she was happy or angry. But since it was decided, Yang Ming said to himself, "You should still be in school at this age, right? Although your father doesn't want you, you can earn your own living. I have 10,000 yuan here. You can use it first." As Yang Ming said this, he took out a stack of money from his pocket and put it beside the bed. Fortunately, there was an ATM downstairs. Otherwise, he really didn't know where to get the money at this time. "You don't want me?" Lon Ling frowned slightly. "Is this man good to me or bad to me?" Yang Ming was helpless. Why wouldn't he want it? But what should he do after taking it? Bring Lon Ling back to Songjiang? What about Qin Mengyan? "I'm not a local," Yang Ming explained. "I can go with you." Lon Ling decided to give this man one last chance. If he didn't cherish it, then forget it. Yang Ming hesitated. A girl taking the initiative to let you take her away. This is such a big temptation. But I don't have economic strength and social status. If I take her back, I won't be able to get past my parents first. "You don't have to say it." Lon Ling shook her head. It seemed that the man in front of her didn't want to take her away. "I didn't mean that. In fact, you can follow me, but I mean that my feelings for you now only stop at liking your body. I don't understand you at all." Yang Ming was anxious and said what was in his heart. This was indeed what he thought. "Oh, that's enough. You will slowly fall in love with me." Lon Ling smiled. Her eyes turned into a crescent moon. "Why did you come out to sell yourself? I heard that your father doesn't want you anymore?" Yang Ming sighed and sat on the bed. "Do you think I want to? I was drugged." Lon Ling pulled down the quilt on her face, revealing her charming face with a bit of playfulness. Oh yeah, how old are you? Are you underage? Yang Ming suddenly thought of a very important question. 16 years old. I just became an adult. Don't worry. The police won't arrest you. Lan Ling was a little proud. It turns out that this guy isn't so calm. I didn't mean that. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed when his thoughts were exposed. I mean that underage sex is not good for the growth of the body. Lan Ling didn't argue with him. Then why did you use so much force just now? Aren't you afraid of killing me? It was you who was particularly crazy, right? Yang Ming laughed. Do you still want it? Lan Ling suddenly looked at Yang Ming very charmingly. Her blurred eyes directly ignited Yang Ming's desire again. There was no need for words. The two people's bodies intertwined together again. Lan Ling, who didn't have the aphrodisiac effect, was actually crazier than before. This time her eyes were full of seductive charm. You still say that you don't like me? Then what is this time? After doing it, Lan Ling asked very mischievously. Yang Ming was speechless. If he said that he didn't like her now, then his behavior just now would be a hooligan. It's useless if you don't say it. I can feel what you are thinking in your heart. Lan Ling laid on Yang Ming's body and listened to his heartbeat. Yang Ming was really tempted. The beauty in front of him was enough to tempt any normal man. Her face was as pure as a fairy's, but on the bed, it was strangely wild. The charm and the innocence was one of the highest realms of the best women. How do you know what I am thinking? Yang Ming was a little embarrassed that his thoughts were exposed. Because you are under my voodoo. Lan Ling said slowly, I can feel your love for me, damn. What? Yang Ming suddenly jumped up from the bed. Did I hit the jackpot? Chapter 108. I'm poisoned with voodoo? Yang Ming jumped up from the bed. Isn't this too unbelievable? I just talked to Zhang Bin about this yesterday and now it's happening to me. The probability of this happening is even lower than winning the lottery, but I actually got caught up in it. What did you say? I'm poisoned by your voodoo? You harmed me? Yang Ming looked at the girl beside him angrily. You don't have to do this even if you want to restrain your man. Although Yang Ming felt that the man who was poisoned with voodoo deserved it when he read Wesley's novel, it was different when it happened to him. I didn't harm you. It's my mother. Lan Ling said slowly, when I was young my mother put a voodoo in me. She told me that the voodoo would be transferred to any man who got my body. If the man had a change of heart he would die and he would die miserably. Are you serious? Don't lie to me. Yang Ming was surprised. He felt that this was unbelievable. How can I be so unlucky? I didn't lie to you. I'm an authentic Miao person. My mother is a master of voodoo. Lan Ling smiled and said, look at my ID card if you don't believe me. Forget it. How can you remove the voodoo in me? This was the question that Yang Ming was most concerned about. If the voodoo isn't removed, what will happen to Chen Mingyan? I can't remove it. Only my mother can remove it. Lan Ling shook her head and said proudly, then let's go find your mother. Yang Ming suggested. My mother is already dead. Lan Ling suddenly said very dejectedly, our family was originally very happy, but, seeing Lan Ling's disappointed look, Yang Ming didn't continue to ask about the voodoo. Lan Ling talked about her experience. My mother passed away when I was 6 years old. She was killed by my father. My father likes to gamble. He gambled everything in our family and lost everything. After that, he lost everything and wanted to use my mother to pay off the debt. He made my mother sleep with one of his gambling friends. Just like that, my mother was humiliated by that person and committed suicide. Doesn't your mother know voodoo? Yang Ming was a little curious. How could such a person be insulted? Yes, my mother warned that person, but that person didn't listen. In the end, that person also died. He was killed by my mother. Lan Ling sighed. But mother. Lan Ling's voice was choked with sobs. The dead can't be brought back to life. Don't be sad, Yang Ming quickly consoled. He didn't expect that this fairy-like girl had such a sad past behind her. I'm not sad. Before my mother died, she told me that there are no good men in this world. She was afraid that I would be bullied by a heartless man in the future, so she planted a heart voodoo on me. Lan Ling shook her head. Are you still going to leave me? Of course not. Yang Ming said firmly. This time there was no hesitation. Indeed, he agreed to let Lan Ling stay with him because of his guilt and fear of the heart voodoo. But now Yang Ming had an impulse to pity this girl for the rest of her life. He was too pitiful. Both mother and daughter were betrayed by their father. Originally, Yang Ming thought that Lan Ling's mother was just a psychopath who had nothing better to do. Now he understood why Lan Ling's mother did this. That man wasn't human. Yang Ming hugged Lan Ling tightly in his arms. At this moment he knew that he really liked this girl in his arms. Forget it, I'll take one step at a time. Yang Ming was a little helpless. If this heart voodoo wasn't solved, then wouldn't his relationship with Qin Mengyan be better? You're thinking about another woman. Lan Ling suddenly said faintly. Yang Ming didn't expect Lan Ling to notice this. He was just thinking about Qin Mengyan. You have a girl that you like? Lan Ling asked. Yes, I don't want to lie to you. Yang Ming hesitated and said seriously, I admit that I like you a little now, but it doesn't mean that I can forget about others. I already have someone that I liked before and my feelings for her are much deeper than yours. Then what do you want to do? Lan Ling asked back. Her expression was very cute, as if this matter had nothing to do with her. Your mother knows how to use voodoo. You should know a little too, right? Can you help me to solve this heart voodoo? Yang Ming clenched his teeth and asked. I know a little, but this voodoo is very mysterious. Only the person who used the voodoo can solve the voodoo. Lan Ling said, not to mention that I only know a little. Yang Ming didn't expect her to solve the voodoo. He would think of a way in the future. So he changed the topic. What's your name? Lan Ling said, what about you? My name is Yang Ming. Yang Ming smiled and said, nice to meet you. Lan Ling was speechless. This guy is really shameless. He did this to me and then hugged me and said nice to meet me. What is this? I'm just kidding. It's a nice name. Yang Ming saw Lan Ling's expression and knew what she was thinking. Really? I followed my mother's surname. Lan Ling shook her head. But it wasn't easy for your father to raise you to this age before selling you. Yang Ming felt that this matter was very strange. Do you think he wanted to? Lan Ling said angrily, wasn't it because I could help him gamble? You helped him gamble? What's going on? Yang Ming asked. I have a strange ability since I was young. Can be said to be intuition. Lan Ling thought about it and said, for example, when I was in school, you gave me a multiple-choice test paper. I didn't look at the questions at all and answered the questions based on my intuition. The accuracy rate could reach more than 90%. It was because of this intuition that my father didn't sell me. He took me to help him gamble. Yang Ming was stunned. He knew that many people had the innate ability to foresee. It was known as the sixth sense. This feeling could predict the ominous luck of some things. He didn't expect Lan Ling to be such a person. Yang Ming suddenly felt that encountering Lan Ling wasn't so unlucky. Did I pick up a treasure? If I had Lan Ling's keen intuition and my own ability, it would be difficult to not become rich in the future. But the problem was Lan Ling's sixth sense really accurate? But if this was the case, wouldn't your father become rich? Why did he keep losing money? Yang Ming couldn't understand. It was accurate at the beginning. But as time went by, I needed to rest. Then there would be a deviation. But my father gambled for a day and a night. In the end, I couldn't feel anything at all. Lan Ling said with self-deprecation. Yang Ming nodded. A person like her father could be regarded as the best among gamblers. Most people would quit while they were ahead. It was rare to see someone like her father who could lose so much that he sold his money tree. Maybe he thought that it didn't matter if his daughter was fucked. She could still help him gamble in the future. Yang Ming and Lan Ling lingered for a while before they got up. After putting on her clothes, Lan Ling returned to her petite and cute appearance. He couldn't imagine her seductive appearance on the bed at all. Zhang Bin was already done. He was sitting in the lobby downstairs and joking with the lady. When he saw Yang Ming coming down, especially when he saw Lan Ling beside Yang Ming, he couldn't help but be stunned. Bro, you fucked a lowly? What lowly? My name is Lan Ling. Lan Ling immediately corrected him. Yang Ming broke into a sweat. Didn't Lan Ling hear the word lowly? She thought that the lowly in Zhang Bin's mouth was an incorrect pronunciation. Lan Ling, oh? Hello. Zhang Bin was also sweating. How is this possible? The cashier at the front desk handed an envelope with 2,000 yuan to Lan Ling. Lan Ling didn't look at it and pushed it back. She said to the cashier, my father is here. You can give this money to him. Just say that I'm gone. I have nothing to do with him from now on. After that she pulled Yang Ming out of the bath center. Although Lan Ling's mouth had a faint smile, Yang Ming knew that she was actually very sad. She was betrayed by her father for 2 yuan. Her feelings were imaginable. Yang Ming patted Lan Ling's shoulder. Lan Ling smiled at him and shook her head, indicating that she was fine. Zhang Bin at the side didn't know the story, but he was envious. Bro, you're so awesome. You're already flirting? Fuck off. Yang Ming said in a bad mood, it's all because of you. Damn it, how am I going to explain to Qin Mengyan when I go back? I'll keep it a secret for you. Zhang Bin quickly patted his chest and said, keep it a secret? Is it useful to keep it a secret? The key question is, what about the voodoo? Chapter 109. When they came out there were 2 of them. When they went back there were 3 of them. 2 grown men with a little girl, especially Lan Ling, who was too young, made the taxi driver look at them with suspicion. It was no wonder. 2 men bringing a little loli to a hotel. Anyone would be suspicious of this. Since Lan Ling joined them, Yang Ming couldn't stay in the same room as Zhang Bin. Therefore they agreed that Zhang Bin would stay in Zhang Jiefeng's room. Yang Ming and Lan Ling would stay in their original room. However, when Zhang Bin asked the waiter to help him open Zhang Jiefeng's room door, the waiter was suspicious. Who are you to him? I'm his son. Didn't you know that during the registration? Zhang Bin said with dissatisfaction. Are you sure you want to go in? The waiter asked with suspicion. If I don't go in, where am I going to sleep? Zhang Bin wasn't happy. You better listen to the door before you decide. The waiter reminded him with good intentions. What do you mean? Zhang Bin was confused, but he still put his ear to the door. Use more force. Faster. It was a perverted female voice. You're so flirtatious. It was Zhang Jiefeng's voice. Damn. Zhang Bin scolded. Didn't you drink too much? Yang Ming was laughing at the side. This father and son are so alike. Lan Ling heard it too. He was laughing too. This little girl looks so pure, but her heart is. Are you saying she's a pervert? That's not right either. I can only say that she's more focused when she's doing it. Zhang Bin couldn't just go in and disturb his father, right? If that's the case, his future pocket money would be gone. Wait, maybe my pocket money will increase because of this. Zhang Bin's face suddenly showed an evil smile. Yang Ming, do you think my father will increase my pocket money in the future since I caught him? Damn, you're so cruel. You even tricked your own father. Yang Ming didn't know what to say. If we don't scheme against him, who else would we scheme against? Zhang Bin said matter-of-factly. Let's get another room. Unfortunately, there were no vacant rooms here. These 2 rooms were reserved by Wu Futsai in advance. What to do? Zhang Bin looked at Yang Ming with a bitter expression. There's no other way. Let's share a room with 3 people. Lan Ling and I will share a bed. Yang Ming said helplessly. He couldn't possibly kick out the master Zhang Bin, right? Lan Ling was a little unhappy. If the 3 of them were together, she wouldn't be able to be intimate with Yang Ming. She pouted as if Zhang Bin owed her money. Zhang Bin also saw that Lan Ling was unhappy. He said shamelessly, you and Yang Ming can do whatever you want at night. Just pretend that I'm not here. Damn, you still want to watch an erotic reality show? Yang Ming said disdainfully, if you have the ability, go to your father's room and watch. That's a good idea. But with my father's body shape I'm not interested. Zhang Bin sighed. After Lan Ling took a shower, she got into Yang Ming's bed. Only her small head was exposed outside. She kept winking at Yang Ming. What's wrong with you? Yang Ming asked strangely. I come here. Lan Ling said. Yang Ming went to bed puzzledly. Lan Ling whispered, I miss you. What should I do? At night Yang Ming was sleeping. He felt Lan Ling's petite hot body climbing onto his body. Lan Ling's underwear was gone. This girl was taking off Yang Ming's underwear. What are you going to do? Yang Ming suddenly became sober. Shoo. Lan Ling made a shushing gesture. Then she slowly sat on Yang Ming's body. Hiss. Yang Ming felt so comfortable that he almost shouted, you don't want to live anymore. Zhang Bin is over there. Don't make a sound. Lan Ling said. She bit her lip and moved her body up and down. It was obvious that this girl also wanted to make a sound, but she was holding it in. Yang Ming suddenly felt a different kind of excitement. Damn, it seems that I really have the potential to have an affair. Last time it was Qin Mengyan who helped me take the plane. Zhang Bin was sitting next to me. This time it was with Lan Ling. Zhang Bin was also on the side. Slow down. Yang Ming couldn't stand Lan Ling's craziness. He was afraid that the movement was too loud and would wake Zhang Bin up. No. Lan Ling said as she sped up her movement. Lan Ling couldn't help but let out a soft cry. Yang Ming was scared and quickly kissed her. Woo woo. Although Lan Ling's mouth made a woo woo sound, her movements didn't slow down. Suddenly Lan Ling shivered and collapsed on Yang Ming's body. What is it? You got all wet on me. Yang Ming was a little puzzled. Sorry. I couldn't help but pee. Lan Ling was a little embarrassed. Yang Ming had watched adult movies before. Naturally, he knew what was going on. He didn't expect Lan Ling to be such a jerk. Don't move. Don't take it out. Just sleep like this. Lan Ling saw that Yang Ming was about to move and immediately stopped him. But I have to wipe my body. How can I sleep when it's wet? Yang Ming was a little helpless. So be it. I don't even dislike it. Lan Ling said seriously. Yang Ming was speechless. No one said that they didn't mind. It was just a little uncomfortable. The next morning, while Zhang Bin was not up, Lan Ling repeated the same trick again. Even Yang Ming couldn't take it. Lan Ling's obsession with sex could be described as crazy. Yang Ming wrapped Lan Ling in a quilt and carried her into the bathroom. The two people took a shower and got dressed. Looking back at the mess on the bedsheet, Lan Ling quickly covered it with the quilt. Don't worry about it. The service staff will change the room in a while. Zhang Bin suddenly said. Lan Ling was shocked and her face immediately turned red. Yang Ming thought it's not that she doesn't know how to be shy. She's just more casual with me. You saw it. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed. I didn't see it, but you were so loud. Do you think I'm dead? Zhang Bin complained. You made me angry. I can't take it anymore. I have to take a cold shower. After Zhang Bin went into the bathroom, Lan Ling stuck her tongue out at Yang Ming. Yang Ming shook his head, indicating that it was fine. Fortunately, he wrapped Lan Ling in a quilt when he carried her, or else she would be exposed. During breakfast, Yang Ming and Zhang Jiefeng were refreshed. Only Zhang Bin had 2 dark circles. Zhang Jiefeng was puzzled by Lan Ling's sudden appearance. Yang Ming had to explain that she was his girlfriend. She was worried about him, so she came to find him. Zhang Jiefeng heard and started to scold Zhang Bin. Look at Yang Ming. It's good to have a girlfriend. What about you? Motherfucker, if he's not doing a one-night stand, then he's going out to look for prostitutes. Can't you do something more serious? I want to do something serious. Yesterday I wanted to show my style and give the room to Yang Ming. But when I walked to your room door I was scared back. Zhang Bin said indifferently. You came to my room. What? Zhang Jiefeng was stunned. His face changed and he immediately changed the topic. Zhang Bin, it's rare that Yang Ming's girlfriend came. Later, Dad will give you 20,000 yuan. You have to treat her well. No problem, but 20,000 yuan isn't enough, right? Later we have to give Yang Ming and the others another room. Zhang Bin said. Okay, how much do you want from this card? But the limit is 20,000 a day. Zhang Jiefeng was helpless. He gave Zhang Bin another card. The password is your mom's birthday. Hey Dad, are you so afraid of Mom? Even the password of the card is set to her birthday? Zhang Bin didn't forget to provoke Zhang Jiefeng. When you go home, don't tell your mom that I didn't take you to play. Zhang Jiefeng hinted. What kind of son is this? He only knows how to bully his dad. No problem. Hehe. Zhang Bin held back his laughter and nodded. After breakfast, Zhang Bin told the front desk that if someone checked out, leave a room for him. Then clean up yesterday's room. Zhang Bin wasn't interested in jade gambling at all. He was dragged along by Yang Ming and Zhang Jiefeng. According to this kid's intention, you guys go, I'll go back to my room to sleep. But how could Zhang Jiefeng let go of this opportunity for his son to learn? Not only did he drag him along, but Zhang Jiefeng also talked about jade on the way to Wu Fatsai's warehouse. Zhang Bin wasn't interested at all. Instead, Yang Ming listened attentively and asked a few questions. While Zhang Jiefeng was explaining to him, he couldn't help but scold his son. Chapter 110. How was it? Did you sleep well last night? Wu Fatsai shook hands with Zhang Jiefeng enthusiastically. Zhang Jiefeng looked at his son's sneaky smile and laughed dryly. Not bad, not bad. The weather here is neither too hot nor too cold. I was worried that you wouldn't be used to it. Wu Futsai laughed. It seems that your complexion is good. How about we find a place to have some fun tonight? Asterisk cough asterisk the kids are here. Don't talk nonsense. Zhang Jiefeng's worst fears came true. Let the kids play by themselves. Let's go massage them. Wu Futsai obviously didn't take Zhang Bin seriously. Zhang Jiefeng tried to signal Wu Futsai with his eyes. Wu Futsai then understood and whispered to Zhang Jiefeng, "Are you a henpecked husband?" He. Zhang Jiefeng laughed dryly. Let's pick the stones first. Wu Futsai knew that this topic couldn't be continued, so he quickly got down to business. Scope. Boss Wu, can you lower the price a little? Zhang Jiefeng said as he walked. Isn't 500 a little too expensive? It's not expensive. Wu Futsai smiled bitterly and said, currently the raw stones that come to Tingchong are all directly transported from the mines in Myanmar through private connections. It's considered smuggling in Myanmar. When they are transported to China, they have to declare to the customs and be registered as legal imports. Therefore the transportation price is very high. The transportation cost of a kilogram of uncut stones has increased from a few yuan to 200 yuan now. Including the transportation cost and the 33% tariff, do you think 500 is expensive? The cost isn't more than 300 yuan. Isn't your profit too high? Zhang Jiefeng laughed. How about 400 yuan? 400 won't do. We're old friends. How about this? 450 yuan. How about that? Wu Futsai said with difficulty. 450 yuan it is. Let's pick the stones. Zhang Jiefeng nodded. You want to gamble on stones too? Lan Ling didn't speak along the way. She was like a well-behaved child. Zhang Jiefeng even suspected that Yang Ming had a girlfriend who was underage. But after Zhang Bin's explanation he believed that Lan Ling was an adult. Yang Ming had the same thought. Lan Ling was too cute. No one would treat her as a 16-year-old girl at first glance. When Zhang Jiefeng walked in front of her, Lan Ling asked softly. Why do you say that? Yang Ming was curious about Lan Ling's thoughts. You asked so many questions in the car. Could it be that you were just curious? Lan Ling smiled. I heard that you can get rich overnight. I don't really understand. Let's take a look first. There was no need for Yang Ming to hide anything from Lan Ling. I can help you try. However, I can't give you too much. If I give you too much, it won't be accurate, Lan Ling whispered. Yang Ming suddenly remembered Lan Ling's ability, the strange sixth sense. Although it couldn't be compared to his own special ability, it was still much stronger than an ordinary person's. Lan Ling nodded proudly as if she was showing off something. Right, I forgot about your ability. Yang Ming nodded too. However, he seemed to have thought of something and said softly, Lan Ling, don't tell others about your ability. The fewer people who know about it, the better. Besides my father, only you know about it. Lan Ling rolled her eyes at Yang Ming. Do you think I'm a fool? I can tell others about it. I'm afraid that some people with ulterior motives would harm you, Yang Ming said worriedly. So you're worried about me? Lan Ling seemed to be very happy after hearing Yang Ming's words. Yes. Of course I'm worried about you. If you died, what would happen to the voodoo in my body? Wouldn't I be a bachelor for the rest of my life? Yang Ming smiled. Idiot. Lan Ling looked at Yang Ming and said coquettishly. Idiot? How am I an idiot? Yang Ming was confused. I'm not telling you. Lan Ling smiled mischievously. Yang Ming didn't know what Lan Ling meant. However, since she wasn't willing to say, Yang Ming didn't ask further. Yang Ming's feelings towards Lan Ling were very strange. Could be said that it was sex before love. Of course it was more of a pity. Lan Ling's appearance was too cute. Anyone who saw her would feel pity for her. Do you want eyes? Yang Ming and a few others just arrived at the distribution center of the warehouse. A few locals surrounded them. Eyes. Yang Ming was stunned. What eyes? Hee jargon. Wu Futsai, who wasn't far away, explained, the so-called eyes are people who identify jades. They are more experienced and earn commission. Zhang Jiefeng hired a person to be an eye. However, this kind of thing was just for psychological comfort. The eyes judged based on their feelings. If they were accurate, they would have done it themselves. Why would they need to be someone else's eye? In Wu Futsai's company, there were a few warehouses that were the size of a classroom. Basically, the uncut stones were piled up on the floor. Beside each pile of uncut stones was a basin of water and a table lamp. According to Zhang Jiefeng, these were used to identify the stones for the customers. Next to the wall of the warehouse, there was a row of iron filing cabinets. The cabinets were also used to store raw stones. The quality of the raw stones inside were slightly better. Besides Zhang Jiefeng, there was a group of people who were selecting raw stones. This group of people had their own eyes. At this moment they had already selected about 70 to 80 raw stones. Zhang Jiefeng didn't hold back. He pulled the newly hired eyes and started to work. Lan Ling wanted to take action, but she was stopped by Yang Ming. He shook his head slightly at her. Lan Ling immediately understood. Yang Ming was worried that she would be in the limelight. When we leave later, just pick up 1 or 2 pieces. Don't attract attention. Yang Ming didn't mind being in the limelight, but he was afraid that his woman would attract unnecessary trouble. Lan Ling nodded. She looked at Yang Ming with eyes full of love. In this world there was finally someone who cared about her sincerely. Lan Ling was very happy. It seemed that Yang Ming already had her in his heart. This made Lan Ling very happy. Lan Ling had an impulse to tell Yang Ming the truth, but she was afraid that if she told him, Yang Ming wouldn't like her anymore. Ai, this is so contradictory. Jade. It's the heart of a jade. Another group of people who were gambling on jade suddenly shouted, "We're rich. We're rich." Zhang Jiefeng immediately looked at them with envy. Gambling on jade was like this. If you were lucky you could get a few million in an instant. But it was useless to be envious. You couldn't snatch it back from someone else. Wu Futsai had seen this kind of thing many times. He didn't put it in his heart. He had an indifferent expression. He earned a steady amount of money. He wasn't envious of these people gambling on jade. If he was envious he could just gamble on his own. Why would he sell the uncut stones? Is jade very valuable? Yang Ming looked at the other party's excited expression and asked a very simple question. Yes, of course it's valuable. Zhang Jiefeng said with envy. His piece could be sold for more than 2 million. With this piece of stone, not only did he get his capital back but he could also make a lot of money. This is the price without polishing it. If he further processed it he could at least make a pair of bracelets and 2 jade pendants. The price could go up to 5 million. Yang Ming listened and took a deep breath. A piece of broken stone could be sold for 5 million. What kind of concept was this? Marx had a famous saying. If a capitalist had 50% profit he would take risks. If he had 100% profit he would dare to trample all the laws of the world. If he had a 300% profit he would dare to risk the gallows. But comparing 500 pieces to 5 million, it was a 10,000% profit. No wonder so many people were interested in gambling on stones. Then isn't this line of business very profitable? Yang Ming was surprised. Yes, but in this pile of stones it would be good if there was a piece of jade. Wu Futsai laughed. If jade was so easy to come out I would just throw the stones away and keep them for myself. Yang Ming nodded. He remembered the general appearance of the jade and the difference between it and other jade. He started to scan the pile of uncut stones. Wu Futsai was right. Jade was very rare. Among these uncut stones there was a lot of pure jade. But Yang Ming didn't know much about this line of business. At this moment he had made up his mind to go to the bookstore to buy some related books. Chapter 111. Uncle Wu, what's with these materials? Yang Ming asked casually. Oh, those are the leftovers from other people. There's almost nothing good left. In the end they were sold to the night market stalls. A pile of stones can be sold for a few hundred yuan. Wu Futsai explained. Then can I buy a few pieces from them? Yang Ming pretended to be casual. I don't know about this. I just want to carve something myself. Yang Ming, pick whatever you want. Uncle Zhang will pay you how much you want later. Zhang Jiefeng didn't care about the 3 pieces of 500 yuan. Hi. Boss Zhang, look at what you're saying. How can I ask you for money for a pile of trash? Wu Futsai shook his head. A piece of trash can't even be worth a few yuan. You're giving me money. Young man, pick whatever you want. Uncle Wu will give it to you to play with. Hee, thank you Uncle Wu. Yang Ming said with a smile. Bro, if you want to pick you should pick from the good ones. How can these leftovers be good? Zhang Bin quickly signaled to Yang Ming with his eyes. It meant that he shouldn't be soft-hearted when killing the rich to help the poor. Yang Ming nodded to Zhang Bin and said, It doesn't matter. I just want to take 2 pieces back to play with. Okay, then I will pick 2 pieces too. Let's see whose is better tonight. Zhang Bin was also interested. Then he said, Dad, can I pick a few pieces? Zhang Jiefeng couldn't wait for Zhang Bin to be interested in these things. He quickly replied, okay, if you can pick something good, Dad will reward you. What's the reward? Zhang Bin felt that empty words couldn't be guaranteed. He had to be more specific. Aren't you going to university soon? I will buy you a car. Zhang Jiefeng said. In fact, he already had this plan. After Zhang Bin went to university, he was going to let him handle the company's affairs. It was inconvenient without a car. How could it work? I want 100,000 and above. Don't try to fool me with a cheap one. Zhang Bin said. Even if you want a cheaper one, I wouldn't dare to buy it for you. I'm worried about the safety. Zhang Jiefeng said. Although Zhang Bin didn't put much effort into his studies, he wasn't stupid since he was able to hang out with Yang Ming. He wasn't in a hurry to start. Instead, he observed how the people hired by Zhang Jiefeng picked the stones. Sometimes he would look at the other group of people. But how could this kind of thing be understood just by looking at it? After a while, Zhang Bin gave up, because there was no pattern to it at all. However, Yang Ming seemed to have grasped the knack of it. Those that were called good jade were generally very green and very transparent. While others were learning how to judge the quality of jade from its appearance, Yang Ming was still learning the difference between good and bad jade. Lan Ling originally wanted to ask Yang Ming why he was so fond of these waste stones. But when she saw Yang Ming casually pick up a stone, she couldn't help but be stunned. Yes, she felt that the stone in Yang Ming's hand was very good. As for how good it was, Lan Ling didn't know. It was just a feeling. It was a feeling that this stone was better than the other stones. Lan Ling saw Yang Ming's satisfied expression. He seemed to want to put the stone back. She was so anxious that she quickly pulled Yang Ming's sleeve. I want this one. Yang Ming whispered in Lan Ling's ear. Don't make a sound. Just watch. Lan Ling looked at Yang Ming with suspicion. She didn't know what he meant. She already told him that she had this kind of sensing ability. Why didn't he ask for her help? But when Lan Ling saw Yang Ming pick up a very bad stone, she couldn't help but say, Yang Ming, this one isn't good. I know. Yang Ming said faintly, what would others think if they picked up a good stone? Picking up one is lucky. Picking up two is a coincidence. People will be suspicious. Lan Ling was stunned. Then she immediately understood what Yang Ming meant. However, she was a bit puzzled. How could Yang Ming distinguish a good stone from a bad one? Listening to his question in the car just now, he didn't know anything about this. I'll take these 2 pieces. Yang Ming said casually. No problem. Take it. Wu Futsai glanced at it and said, do you want to throw it away now or go back and polish it slowly? Yang Ming didn't want to attract too much attention here, so he said, let's talk about it when we go back. I will polish it myself. Yang Ming, you finished picking? Zhang Bin found it strange that Yang Ming finished so quickly. Yeah, I just picked it up casually. I don't know much about it, so I couldn't pick it out. I might as well try my luck. Yang Ming smiled. Hee, then I will just pick up 2 pieces. Zhang Bin saw that Yang Ming was like that, so he also picked up 2 bigger pieces. Yang Ming glanced at it casually. The 2 pieces that Zhang Bin picked up weren't good, but after throwing them away, it wasn't a problem to make a profit or loss. In the morning, Zhang Jiefeng found people to pick out about 3,000 stones. Every businessman put the stones that they picked into their own pile. Another group of businessmen had finished picking and were opening up the stones. They only picked the good ones and sold the bad ones to the local craftsmen. They would sell as much as they could. That piece of imperial jade had earned him a lot of money. In the afternoon, Wu Futsai arranged to treat Zhang Jiefeng and another group of businessmen for lunch. However, that group of people was immersed in the joy of opening a piece of imperial jade. They didn't even want to eat. They only asked for a few boxes of lunch and continued to open up the stones. Wu Futsai knew the temperament of these people, so he didn't force them. He asked his subordinates to look after the warehouse and went out to eat with Zhang Jiefeng. Zhang Jiefeng only played occasionally. He didn't reach the level of obsession. What he valued was profit, not the thrill of gambling, so he was still a relatively rational person. Jade was just a type of jewelry. It wasn't everything. There was also the business of gold, silver, and diamond. Zhang Jiefeng didn't have a special interest in them. Yang Ming put the 2 stones on his body. They didn't take up much space, so the 2 stones he picked were relatively small. Why are you bringing these things? They won't be lost if you leave them here. Zhang Bin asked. What if someone took them away if I leave them here? I still want to win against you tonight. Yang Ming smiled ambiguously. Damn. I despise you. Who would steal these broken stones? Although Zhang Bin said so, he still brought his 2 stones with him. Zhang Jiefeng and Wu Futsai didn't care. They thought that Yang Ming and Zhang Bin were just kids. They didn't think that Yang Ming was afraid of losing his things. There were plenty of broken stones. Wu Futsai wouldn't feel the pinch even if he lost 10 pieces. Lunch wasn't as luxurious as yesterday's. It was just a normal work lunch. Everyone didn't drink because they still had things to do in the afternoon. Although the dishes weren't as luxurious as yesterday's, they were dishes that went well with rice. The few of them ate with relish. In the afternoon, Yang Ming suggested that they go out for a walk. They didn't want to go back to the warehouse to gamble. Zhang Bin agreed with both hands. Zhang Jiefeng didn't have any objections. Since Zhang Bin had already experienced it, there was no point for him to stay there. Zhang Bin, Yang Ming and Lan Ling took a taxi back to the hotel. Coincidentally, someone was checking out of the room. Yang Ming booked the room directly. The room that the guest checked out of is a couple room. Is that okay? The front desk lady asked. And that's the one. Before Yang Ming could say anything, Lan Ling said it first. Yang Ming was a little embarrassed. Can't this little girl be more reserved? Aren't you afraid of others pointing fingers behind your back? As expected, the front desk lady and Zhang Bin were stunned. Usually, the man would take the initiative to stay in this kind of room. It was the first time that the woman took the initiative. But when the front desk lady saw Lan Ling's childish appearance, she was a little suspicious. Could she be underage? If there was an inspection, the hotel would be in trouble. Thinking of this, the front desk lady quickly asked, "Give me your ID card to register." Seeing that Lan Ling was going to be 17 soon, the front desk lady was relieved. She didn't want to get the hotel fired because of this. Yang Ming's eyesight was unusually good. With a casual glance, he could see the information on Lan Ling's ID card clearly. He was from the Miao tribe. It seemed that she didn't lie to me. In fact, Yang Ming wanted to see her birthday so that he could give her a surprise. Although they had sex before love, the more sex there was, the more love there was. Yang Ming had only known Lan Ling for a day, but he really liked this little girl. Although she was sometimes a little clingy, this kind of girl who looked pure on the outside and flirtatious on the inside was indeed the best choice for a wife. Of course, this was only limited to flirting with Yang Ming. After registering the ID card, Yang Ming and Lan Ling moved their luggage over. A staff member was cleaning the room. When she saw Yang Ming and Lan Ling coming in, she said, "Wait a moment. It will be done soon." Chapter 112. The waiter swiftly changed the bedsheets, blankets, pillowcases and other things on the bed. After wiping the table, he put down some daily necessities. Then he put a small plastic thing on the bedside table. The waiter looked up and saw Yang Ming. He hesitated for a moment, put another one on the table and left the room. "What is this?" Lan Ling curiously studied the 2 small plastic pieces in her hand. Yang Ming couldn't help sweating when he took a look. Turned out to be 2 condoms. Damn, Yang Ming recalled the last look in the waiter's eyes. This guy thought that 1 condom might not be enough. Am I such a pervert? But this couldn't be blamed on the waiter. When he saw Yang Ming and Lan Ling, a young couple, he naturally thought that young people's needs must be stronger. So he put 2 in the room. Ah. After Lan Ling understood the purpose of the thing, she exclaimed, "Dear, this thing says that it can add to the fun. Why don't we try it?" Yang Ming had never used it before. He didn't know what it felt like to wear a condom, so he nodded. "Okay, let's try it tonight." No. Lan Ling acted coquettishly. "But it's daytime now. Zhang Bin is still waiting for us in the room." Yang Ming was a little embarrassed, but his desire was almost aroused by Lan Ling. "No, this girl is too tempting. She can make me have thoughts just by saying a few words." After Lan Ling heard Yang Ming's words, she ran to the windowsill and closed the curtains. Then she jumped on the bed, half knelt on it, raised her head and looked at Yang Ming with sparkling eyes. "It's dark now, right?" This position. Yang Ming finally couldn't stand it. "I want to pee again. Hold it in." "Damn, didn't I ask you to hold it in? You made me all over again. I can't hold it in anymore." Zhang Bin really wasn't in a hurry. This guy was currently polishing the 2 pieces of jade he had bet with a piece of broken sandpaper. Yang Ming and Lan Ling took a bath and changed their clothes before heading to Zhang Bin's room. You're done so quickly? Zhang Bin looked up and asked. Fast. Yang Ming and Lan Ling looked at each other. The two of them went crazy for more than half an hour. It seemed that Zhang Bin had completely immersed himself in the work of polishing the jade. Shall we go out for a walk? Yang Ming suggested. You guys go ahead. I'll take a nap after I'm done with this stone. You guys had a good time last night, but I suffered. Zhang Bin complained. Why? Are you interested in stones? Yang Ming asked curiously. A car. Zhang Bin was almost drooling. A car in university. How many girls would it attract? If your dad knew that you bought a car to pick up girls. Yang Ming said halfway and suddenly remembered Zhang Jiefeng's character. He quickly changed his words. He would probably buy you a sports car directly. That's a good idea. I'll discuss it with him at night. Zhang Bin agreed. Then I'll go out with Lan Ling. However, the selfish mentality of a girl made her hold it back. Only when she was really sure of Yang Ming's feelings for her, she would tell this secret. In fact, it couldn't be considered a secret. It was just Yang Ming himself who misunderstood. I didn't deliberately lie to you. He thought too much. Lan Ling comforted herself. The current mobile phone was very cheap. Yang Ming didn't hesitate too much. He went to a mobile phone store with Lan Ling. Now that Yang Ming had determined his direction of earning money, he didn't care about this small amount of money. Things like mobile phones were upgraded relatively quickly. Yang Ming didn't need any navigation, camera, MP3, or MP4 functions at all. As for those with diamonds, Yang Ming felt that they were even more useless. Isn't it just a call or a text message? It's fine as long as the signal is good and the standby time is long. Therefore, Yang Ming went directly to the low-cost area. The salesperson learned of Yang Ming's request and saw that he was dressed like a student. He directly recommended a low-end Nokia phone. This Nokia 1200 is selling well. The price is low but the quality isn't bad. A lot of students buy this. The salesperson introduced, the signal of the Nokia is excellent. The standby time of the battery is about 5 days. The functions also meet the requirements of the average student. What do you think? Yang Ming asked for Lan Ling's opinion. It's pretty good. Lan Ling nodded. I think it's good. Can it be cheaper if I buy two? Asked Yang Ming. We are a legitimate store. We don't bargain. Moreover, this kind of low-end mobile phone usually doesn't have much profit. 299 yuan is the promotional price. How about this? If you buy two, I can give you 3 gift packs. The battery in the gift pack is at least 20 yuan. The salesperson thought for a while and said. She didn't expect to be able to sell two. It was not bad. The salesperson's salary was related to their performance. The more they sold, the higher the bonus. Can you give us 4 gift packs? What do you think, sister? Yang Ming was just about to agree when Lan Ling suddenly said in a sweet voice. So it's like this. The salesperson looked at the cute Lan Ling's expectant expression. She hesitated and agreed, okay, but don't tell anyone. If everyone wants 2 gift bags, we'll be at a loss. The lethality of the lowly didn't only work on men. Yang Ming sighed. Just 1 sentence and she asked for an extra battery. The number of gift packs for a mobile phone was usually just right. However, if there was a malfunction, the gift pack wouldn't be returned when returning to the company. Therefore, there would be some left over. Yang Ming asked for a white and a black one. The salesperson tested the 2 phones. After confirming that there was no malfunction, she wrote the bill. Yang Ming went to pay. Do you have a SIM card? When Yang Ming came back, the salesperson habitually asked.